This is Bridget Talbot in my presentation on backward design in Bloom's taxonomy. What's on the agenda? Three things. What is backward design in the three stages? The 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. And then finish it up with a real-world example of the two models. Understanding design framework known as UBD is student-centered. It promotes the 3 stages of the backward design template. All 3 stages must be aligned to each other. The purpose of this method is to teach for understanding by looking at what we need the outcome to be. This model was created by Wiggins and McPhee. Key tenets of understanding by design, UBD. The first one is to explain. Clearly define learning goals. The second, interpret. Design curriculum backwards. 3 is apply, to teach the material. 4, shift perspective, reflect, a continuous improvement approach. 5, empathize, provide depth in understanding. 6, self-assess, seek evidence of understanding. 7, continuous improvement, repeat the process to refine and improve the design. One of the things that Mr. Wiggins asked in his YouTube video was about soccer, the coach asking the players, what is working for us on the field? And I think that can easily be used in the classroom too. What is working? What is not working? Is backward design. Backward design is a systematic approach to curriculum development that prioritizes the end goal, allowing educators to design effective and aligned learning experiences for their students. This approach is based on the ADDIE model that we learned about last week. What are the 3 stages of the backward design model? The first one, step 1, we have to define learning outcomes. Backward design starts by identifying the desired learning outcome or goals that the learners should achieve by the end of the lesson or course. Step 2, designing instruction. Based on the defined learning outcomes, the instructional activities, resources, and assessments are designed to help learners achieve those outcomes. Step 3, aligning assessments. The assessments used to evaluate learning are closely aligned with the intended learning outcomes, ensuring that they are accurately measured the desired knowledge and skill. Backward design is a student-centered approach that focuses on what the learner will learn rather than what the teacher will teach. Basically, the lesson is works backwards. Figure out what the objective for the learner is, and then create the lesson plan to achieve that. Where to is an acronym for where is it going? And it stands for the W, where and why, H, hook and hold, E, explore, experience, enable, and equip. R, reflect, rethink, reuse. E, evaluate. T, tailor and personalize the work. O, organize for optimal effectiveness. And there are some good questions that go into the planning, such as where are we going? Why? What is expected? What is worth them being familiar with? What is important for them to know? And what needs enduring understanding? Taxonomy. Named after educational psychiatrist Benjamin Bloom, 1956, it is the framework of cognitive levels as they relate to learning. In 2001, this framework was revised. 6 new levels were developed. The first one is remember or memorize. This is the lowest level skill. The ability to recall or recognize information, concepts, and procedures. This comes from long-term memory. Each level builds on the level below. Learners must remember material before they can understand a concept. A few verbs for this level could be define, identify, match, name, and quote. I am not a teacher in any kind of school, but I do teach my employees my business. And it starts with learning how to measure. And I'm always amazed at the amount of people that do not know how to read a tape measure. So we start there. And typically, most people just memorize those fractions so that they can measure on the job site. The second is understand and identify. The ability to grasp the meaning, interpret, and explain information and ideas. A few verbs for this level would be compare, discuss, observe, show, and visualize. Going back to the tape measure, this is where most people start to visualize the numbers on the tape that they memorized. Number 3, apply. The ability to use knowledge to solve problems, demonstrate procedures, or complete tasks. A few verbs for this level would be apply, classify, figure, practice, and solve. At this point, my employee can demonstrate how to measure. Take them with me to an appointment, and I have them measure the space, and I measure the space also. And we compare measurements back at the office. Number 4, analyze. The ability to break down information into parts, identify patterns in relationships, and draw conclusions. A few verbs for this level could be confirm, examine, illustrate, layout, relate. Now we are back at the office to review our room layout. Did they get the same information as I did? Bloom's taxonomy is based on constructivism approach to learning. The 5th level is evaluate. The ability to make judgments or decisions based on criteria and standards. A few verbs would be assess, critique, explain, measure, and verify. After we compare our room layouts with measurements, my employees should be able to explain to me where they made any mistakes and how to avoid them going forward. Number 6, create. The ability to put parts together to form something new or original, to generate, plan, or produce. A few verbs, arrange, create, design, plan, and produce. Now my employee can take their revised layout and start designing the space for the client. Taxonomy. By aligning backward design in Bloom's taxonomy, educators can create learning experiences that target specific learning outcomes and levels of thinking. This ensures that students are engaged in higher order thinking and achieving the desired learning goal. So I thought about a mission statement for what I do for a living and came up with our mission is to create spaces that bring people together. Our goal is to make every project a masterpiece and every client a friend. So using backward design in Bloom's taxonomy systems as a training guide for new employees, we would easily follow the same steps as a teacher would use to create a lesson plan. The goal is to train new employees how to be great salespeople. By doing that, they need an understanding of how to measure a space, then take that information and apply it to graph paper or our cabinet computer program to design the space for the client. Then present the design with a proposal of what is designed to include the price for the work. The client should be able to clearly understand what the salesperson is offering them for product layout and cost. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I look forward to hearing my classmates.